All right, so welcome to another Deep Dives, everybody. And today we are taking a look at something pretty legendary and mysterious and maybe even a little magical.
Oh, yeah?
The Emerald Tablets of Thoth.
Sounds pretty cool.
You guys sent in some really intriguing excerpts.
I bet.
And we are excited to break it all down for you.
Looking forward to it.
So we're talking about ancient texts, right?
Yeah.
That claim to hold secrets of the universe.
Wow!
And they're attributed to Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom.
I've heard of Thoth.
But the question is, do these tablets even actually exist?
That's a good question.
And what can they tell us about humanity's, this age-old quest to understand the cosmos?
Yeah, people have been trying to figure that out for a long time.
Buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride.
I'm ready.
So no physical tablets have ever been found.
That's right, yeah.
But the idea of them has captivated minds for centuries.
It really has.
Like, why?
It's like this whisper from the past that hints at, a deeper knowledge, a hidden code to existence itself.
Okay, so let's separate legend from reality for a second here.
Okay.
Where does this whole Emerald Tablet story even come from?
Well, the legend claims that Thoth inscribed his knowledge on slabs of emerald, hidden away for millennia.
Wow.
And this story gets woven into Hermeticism, a school of thought.
Hermeticism, right.
That arose during the Islamic Golden Age.
Okay.
And it blends ancient Egyptian wisdom with Greek philosophical ideas.
So that's where Hermes Trismegistus comes in.
Yeah.
I've heard that name connected to the Emerald Tablets, but it always seemed a bit confusing to me.
Yeah, Hermes Trismegistus is a really fascinating figure.
Yeah.
He's essentially a fusion of Thoth with Greek philosophical ideas. A symbol of how these ancient wisdom traditions intertwined.
Okay.
And he's credited with authoring the Tabula Smaragdina, a text that's central to Hermeticism.
Right.
And thought to contain the essence of Thoth's teachings.
That's where we get that famous phrase.
What's that?
As above, so below, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
It seems like everyone from, New Age gurus to physicists throws that quote around.
It's a popular one.
But what does it actually mean?
It's a phrase that invites endless interpretations, really.
Yeah.
But at its heart, it suggests a fundamental connection between the vast universe,
Okay.
what we might call the macrocosm, and our own individual lives,
Okay.
the microcosm.
So it suggests a mirroring effect,
Yeah, that's one way to think about it.
like a hidden harmony between the grand scale of the cosmos
Yeah.
and the inner workings of our own beings.
Exactly. It's a pretty mind-blowing concept when you really think about it.
Yeah, some people might hear that and think, oh, that's just mystical mumbo-jumbo.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But here's what I find fascinating.
What's that?
Modern science is actually starting to reveal patterns in the universe that echo that principle.
Oh, really?
Things like fractals,
Oh, right, fractals.
Yeah.
Those are incredible shapes that just repeat infinitely across scales.
You see it in, like, the branching of trees, the veins of a leaf, even the spiral arms of galaxies.
It's like the universe is built on this principle of self-similarity.
Yeah.
Echoing that, as above, so below concept.
And what's even weirder?
What?
Quantum entanglement.
Oh, yeah. Spooky action at a distance.
Right. Where two particles, even if they're light years apart, are linked in a way that defies our usual understanding of space and time.
Totally.
Change one, and the other changes instantly.
It's wide.
It's almost as if the universe really is this interconnected web, just like the Emerald Tablets suggest.
It's definitely a mind-bending concept.
Right.
And it lends itself to that Hermetic idea of a unified,
Yeah.
interconnected reality.
Oh, yeah. But let's get back to the alchemists for a moment.
Okay.
They were particularly drawn to the Emerald Tablets, weren't they?
They were, big time.
But some skeptics might say, weren't they just obsessed with turning lead into gold?
Right.
What's so spiritual about that?
Well, that's where we have to dig a little deeper.
Okay.
For the alchemists, the physical process of transmutation, turning lead into gold, was a metaphor for a parallel process of inner transformation.
Oh, interesting.
Lead represented, the base, imperfect self, full of flaws and limitations.
Yeah.
Gold, on the other hand, symbolized spiritual purity and enlightenment.
So it wasn't just about material wealth.
No, not at all.
It was about a spiritual quest, too.
Exactly.
They were trying to refine their own consciousness alongside their experiments.
Precisely. The Emerald Tablet, with its, cryptic verses and all this talk of transmutation, became a guide for their inner work, a roadmap for achieving both material and spiritual perfection.
But was this inner transformation solely a spiritual pursuit? Or did the alchemists see a practical, tangible outcome from this process as well?
They believed that the transformation of the self was a key to unlocking hidden knowledge and power.
So they weren't just meditating in a cave. They were out there experimenting, trying to make real-world changes.
Oh, yeah. They were definitely hands-on.
It's fascinating how they blend these mystical ideas with, like, real-world applications.
It is. It's a unique blend of, science and spirituality.
Okay, so we've got ancient Egyptian myths.
Yeah.
Islamic scholars, alchemists, all drawn to this idea of hidden wisdom encoded in these mysterious tablets.
It's really a powerful idea.
It's incredible how this concept has endured for centuries.
It really is.
But it doesn't stop there, right?
It doesn't.
Even Isaac Newton was fascinated by these texts.
Oh, wow.
What was H.E. looking for in them?
Well, it's true, Newton.
The father of modern physics, yeah.
Was also a really avid student of alchemy and Hermetic texts.
Really?
Yeah, he believed they held clues to the fundamental laws of the universe.
So he wasn't just about gravity and calculus.
Apparently not.
He was looking for this, hidden code that could explain everything.
That's right, from gravity to the nature of light.
That's pretty wild.
It is.
It makes you wonder what he saw in those texts that maybe we're missing.
Maybe there's something there we haven't quite grasped yet.
Right. But Newton wasn't the last to be captivated by this idea.
He wasn't.
The Emerald Tablets had a major resurgence in the 20th century with the rise of the New Age movement.
Oh, that's right.
Authors like Maurice Doreal claim to have channeled the original text from Thoth himself, adding even more layers of intrigue and speculation.
Right. Atlantis, cosmic dimensions, hidden human potential.
It's like these New Age interpretations took the mythos of the Emerald Tablets to a whole new level.
They really did.
Some might argue that these New Age interpretations are just, modern myth-making, adding more fiction to an already dubious legend.
Yeah, I can see that perspective.
What'd you say to that?
I think it's true that those later interpretations often stray pretty far from the original Hermetic texts.
Yeah.
But I also think they highlight something important.
What's that?
The enduring power of these ideas to capture our imagination and to inspire us to seek deeper meaning in the universe.
So we've journeyed from ancient Egypt to the Islamic Golden Age.
Yeah.
From alchemists' workshops to Isaac Newton's study.
Quite a journey.
And even into the realm of New Age mysticism.
It's amazing how these ideas have resonated across time and cultures.
It's clear that the Emerald Tablets, whether real or imagined, have left an indelible mark on Western thought.
I think that's fair to say.
But what does it all mean?
The big question.
What can we learn from these texts, even if they never existed in physical form?
That's a great question, and I think perhaps the most important lesson is this.
Okay.
The Emerald Tablets, regardless of their actual origin, act as a mirror, reflecting our own desire to find meaning and purpose in the universe. They challenge us to look beyond the surface of things, to seek the hidden connections and patterns that reveal a deeper order to reality.
It's like they're a puzzle box.
Yeah, I like that.
Full of these intriguing symbols and metaphors that invite us to contemplate the big questions.
Absolutely.
Questions about, the nature of existence, our place in the cosmos, and the potential that lies within us.
Exactly. And maybe that's the true legacy of the Emerald Tablets?
What do you mean?
They inspire us to become explorers.
Okay.
To embrace the unknown and to never stop searching for that hidden wisdom that connects us all.
This has been an incredible start to our deep dive into the Emerald Tablets.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I'm already feeling that sense of wonder and possibility that these texts evoke.
I feel it too.
But we've only scratched the surface here.
Oh, we're just getting started.
What other secrets are waiting to be uncovered as we go deeper into these mysterious texts?
Oh, there's so much more to explore. We need to delve into the alchemist's quest for transformation.
Okay.
Unravel the mysteries of language and hidden codes. And even tackle the, tantalizing possibility of achieving...
Oh, wow.
impossible things like immortality.
I can't wait.
I neither.
Let's continue our deep dive and see where these ancient whispers lead us.
Let's do it. So remember how we were talking about the alchemists and how they were so fascinated by these Emerald Tablets? Well, their whole quest for transformation wasn't just, about mystical mumbo-jumbo or anything.
Oh, okay.
It actually had some pretty profound implications.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Break it down for me.
Okay.
What did they see in those tablets that actually connected to their experiments?
Well, think about it this way. The alchemists believed that the process of turning lead into gold was a mirror for the process of refining one's soul.
So it wasn't just about the material wealth.
No, not at all.
It was about achieving spiritual purity and enlightenment.
Exactly.
So the Emerald Tablet, with all its talk of transmutation and hidden knowledge, was like a guidebook for personal growth.
Yeah, exactly. The alchemists believed that by purifying their own consciousness, they could unlock hidden knowledge and power.
So they weren't just meditating in a cave, right? They were actually out there experimenting, trying to make real-world changes.
Yeah, they were definitely hands-on.
That's so fascinating how they blended these mystical ideas with real-world applications.
It's really a very unique blend of science and spirituality.
So in a way, they were saying that inner work, self-improvement, was just as important as any scientific discovery.
Precisely.
Okay, wow.
And this idea of inner alchemy isn't just limited to, some dusty old texts.
Yeah.
It echoes across different cultures and time periods.
Like where else do we see that?
Well, in Buddhism, for example, the path to enlightenment is often described as a process of purification, of shedding attachments and illusions to reveal one's true nature.
And even in modern psychology, we see this reflected in Carl Jung's work on individuation, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That process of integrating the different parts of ourselves to become like a whole unified being.
Yeah, Jung even saw a direct connection between alchemy and psychological growth. He suggested that the alchemists were essentially, projecting their own inner struggles and aspirations onto the physical world of metals and transformation.
Wow. So this idea of as within, so without has been around for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, but let's get back to the Emerald Tablets themselves.
Okay.
They talk about Thoth as the god of language.
Yeah, that they do.
What significance does that hold for our understanding of these texts?
Well, language is a powerful tool.
Okay.
It shapes our thoughts, our perceptions, even our reality.
Oh, wow.
The words we use, the stories we tell, they create the world we live in.
I like that.
And the alchemists understood this deeply.
Are you saying they believed there was like a secret language, a divine language, as some have called it?
Right.
That could unlock even more profound truths about the universe?
The Emerald Tablets definitely seem to hint at that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they speak of this universal language, a language of creation itself. And throughout history, people have searched for this hidden language through various means.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Sure. Think about sacred geometry.
Okay.
It's the idea that shapes like the circle and the triangle are the fundamental building blocks of creation.
Right. Right.
And these shapes are seen as carrying symbolic meaning and revealing this hidden order to the universe.
Okay, I'm starting to see how that connects to the as above, so below principle.
Right.
The same geometric patterns appear everywhere, from the structure of atoms to the spiral of galaxies.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. But what about this divine language? Is it just shapes?
It could be.
Or is there something more to it?
Some people believe that it goes beyond simple shapes.
Okay.
They think it's a language of vibration, of energy, of the underlying forces that shape reality itself.
Wait, so you're saying this hidden language might not even be words?
That's right.
As we understand them.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's this field of study called cymatics.
I've heard of that.
That might give us a clue.
Okay.
Cymatics is the study of how sound vibrations actually create visible patterns and shapes.
Huh.
Almost like this hidden language of energy and form.
Really?
Yeah. You can actually see these patterns emerge when you vibrate, sand or water on a plate.
Whoa, that's mind-blowing.
It is pretty cool.
So you're saying that sound vibration could actually be a key to understanding this divine language that the Emerald Tablets hint at.
It's a possibility worth considering.
Wow, that's really interesting.
The ancient traditions often talked about the power of sound and vibration to create and transform reality.
Okay, so we've talked about alchemy as inner transformation.
Right.
And the possibility of this hidden language that's embedded in the universe. But the Emerald Tablets also touch upon the concept of immortality.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty far-out idea, even for these mysterious texts.
It's true, but it's important to remember that the alchemists viewed immortality not just as physical longevity, but as this state of spiritual transcendence, a liberation from the cycle of death and rebirth.
So it's not about living forever in this physical sense.
No.
But about achieving some kind of spiritual immortality.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's more about transcending our limitations than it is about never dying in this physical body.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. And while the alchemists sought immortality through the philosopher's stone,
right,
modern science is exploring different avenues to,
yeah,
maybe achieve something similar.
like what?
Reversing aging at the cellular level, or even uploading consciousness into digital realms.
Wow, who knows what the future holds?
It's incredible to think that ideas once considered purely mystical are now being explored through the lens of science and technology.
Yeah.
But would we even want that kind of immortality?
That's a good question.
Wouldn't life lose its meaning if we knew we could live forever?
That is a profound question. And it's one that the Emerald Tablets, despite all their cryptic language and mystical allusions, ultimately challenge us to confront what is the true nature of life and death? What is the purpose of our existence?
It seems like these texts aren't so much about providing answers as they are about prompting us to ask the right questions.
Precisely. They invite us to become explorers, to delve into the mysteries of the universe and of our own being, and to embrace the unknown.
This is getting pretty deep.
It is.
Let's take a moment to connect this back to the listener.
Okay.
Why should they care about these ancient texts and all these seemingly far-out ideas?
Because the Emerald Tablets, even if they're just a myth, speak to something really fundamental about the human experience.
What's that?
Our desire to understand who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is in this vast and mysterious universe.
So it's about more than just deciphering some old texts. It's about connecting with that deeper part of ourselves. They're like this reminder that there's more to reality than meets the eye, that there are these hidden depths waiting to be explored, both within ourselves and in the world around us.
That's beautifully said.
And that's a pretty powerful message, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And it's a message that's even more relevant now than ever as we navigate a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain.
So, what are some key takeaways from our deep dive so far?
Okay.
What do you hope our listener is starting to grasp about the Emerald Tablets and their significance?
Well, for starters, I hope they see that the Emerald Tablets offer this really unique blend of ancient wisdom and modern thought.
Okay.
They invite us to connect the dots between seemingly disparate fields like science, spirituality, and psychology.
They also highlight the importance of both inner and outer exploration.
Yeah, exactly.
The alchemists believe that true knowledge comes not just from these external sources, but also from within ourselves.
Right, we have to look within.
And they remind us that the universe is full of mysteries.
Oh, it is.
And that the journey of discovery is just as important as any destination we might reach.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah.
It takes the pressure off having to have all the answers.
Right.
And allows us to enjoy the process of just learning and growing.
Yeah, embrace the journey.
But before we wrap up part 2,
I
want to touch on something that we've kind of been circling around this whole time.
What's that?
The idea of duality.
Yes, duality.
The Emerald Tablets, with their blend of mystical and scientific ideas, seem to really dance around this concept.
Yeah.
This interplay of opposites.
It's a recurring theme.
We see it in the concept of as above, so below, the macrocosm and microcosm mirroring each other.
Exactly.
We see it in the alchemist's quest to unite these seemingly opposite forces of matter and spirit.
It's like this underlying principle.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a theme that runs throughout the Emerald Tablets.
It does.
This idea that seemingly opposite forces are actually interconnected and essential to the whole.
Right, like two sides of the same coin.
Light and darkness, male and female, creation and destruction.
It's like these dualities are woven into the very fabric of reality.
What does that mean for us?
That's the question, isn't it?
How can we actually apply this concept of duality to our own lives?
Well, perhaps the key to understanding ourselves and the universe lies in embracing this duality.
Okay.
In recognizing that these seemingly opposite forces are actually two sides of the same coin.
So we need to integrate these different aspects within ourselves.
Right.
To become whole, to achieve that state of balance and harmony that the Emerald Tablets point towards.
It's a lifelong process.
But how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
What are some practical steps we can take?
That's a question we'll explore further in part 3.
Oh, okay.
We'll delve into some specific practices and principles that can help you integrate these dualities and unlock that hidden potential within yourself.
I'm ready for the next level of this deep dive.
I'm excited to share it with you.
Yeah. Let's see what other secrets we can uncover as we continue to explore the mysteries of the Emerald Tablets.
It's amazing, how these emerald tablets manage to be both ancient and, incredibly relevant to our modern lives.
I know it's true.
Yeah.
We've been going back and forth between ancient myths and alchemists' workshops and even modern physics.
It's quite a journey.
But I think that's what makes these tablets so fascinating.
Why is that?
They speak to this timeless human quest for understanding.
They do. It's a universal theme.
Right. And one of the key themes that keeps coming up for me is this idea of duality.
Oh, duality.
The interplay of opposites.
Right. We've talked about that a lot.
As above, so below. The macrocosm and microcosm.
Right.
Even the alchemist's goal of uniting matter and spirit.
It's all connected.
But, for someone listening out there, it might be like, okay, that's interesting and all, but how does this apply to my life?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right.
That's where it gets really practical. The emerald tablets, in their own cryptic way, offer a blueprint for navigating those dualities within ourselves.
So it's not just about understanding these grand cosmic principles.
No, it's about applying them to our own lives.
It's about looking at our own personal experiences through this lens of duality.
Exactly. They suggest that by embracing those seemingly contradictory parts of ourselves, we can unlock a deeper level of understanding.
Okay.
And even tap into hidden potential.
So instead of seeing our flaws, our weaknesses, our shadow side as something to be suppressed or denied, we should actually try to integrate them into our sense of self.
Think about it this way. Just as the alchemists sought to unite opposites in their quest to create the philosopher's stone, perhaps our own journey of self-discovery involves embracing those seemingly contradictory parts of ourselves.
Our light and shadow, our strengths and weaknesses.
It's all part of who we are.
There's a line in one of the excerpts that you sent that really stuck with me.
Which one was that?
It says, separate not the earth from the heavens, for they are one.
Yeah, that's a powerful one.
It seems to be saying that this principle of unity applies not just to our inner world, but also to our relationship with the world around us.
That's a really insightful observation. It challenges us to bridge the gap between ourselves and the natural world.
Okay.
To see the interconnectedness of all things.
It makes me think about how we often compartmentalize our lives.
In what way?
Work versus play.
Yeah.
Logic versus intuition.
Right.
Material success versus spiritual growth.
We try to keep things separate.
What if the real key to fulfillment lies in finding a way to integrate those aspects?
That's a really interesting idea.
To live a more holistic life.
The emerald tablets seem to be pointing us in that direction.
So it's about embracing wholeness, recognizing that all these seemingly separate aspects of our lives are actually interconnected and essential to our overall well-being.
It's about seeing the big picture.
Okay, so we've talked about duality, integrating our shadow selves, bridging the gap between heaven and earth.
Big concepts.
But let's get specific,
Okay.
If someone's listening out there and they want to actually apply these principles to their life, where do they even start?
That's where things get really exciting because there are so many different paths you can explore.
Oh, okay.
The emerald tablets don't offer a step-by-step guide or anything.
Right.
But they point us towards certain practices and principles that can help us on this journey of self-discovery.
Give our listeners some practical tools.
Okay.
What are some of those practices?
Well, mindfulness is a great place to start.
Mindfulness.
Okay. It's about cultivating awareness of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment.
Okay.
And this can help you become more aware of those dualities within yourself. Those patterns of thought and behavior that might be holding you back.
And mindfulness isn't just some new age trend, right?
No, not at all.
It's backed by tons of scientific research.
That's right.
Showing its benefits for reducing stress, improving focus, and even enhancing emotional regulation.
It's a powerful tool.
So once you start to develop greater self-awareness, you can begin to work on integrating those different parts of yourself.
Exactly.
And that might involve things like journaling or shadow work.
Yeah, those are great options.
Or even working with a therapist or a coach.
Those are all valid paths.
And there's so many other practices that resonate with the principles of the Emerald Tablets, right?
Oh, absolutely. Things like meditation, yoga, spending time in nature, even creative expression.
It's about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
What helps you connect with that sense of wholeness and inner harmony.
It's a personal journey.
And don't underestimate the power of symbolism.
Ah, symbolism, yes.
The Emerald Tablets themselves are full of symbolic language.
They are.
And they encourage us to pay attention to the symbols and archetypes that appear in our own lives.
Like what kind of symbols?
Dreams, synchronicities, recurring patterns.
Oh, I see.
These can all be seen as messages from our unconscious, guiding us on our path of self-discovery.
It's like a secret language.
Right. The key is to stay curious,
Yeah.
to remain open to the possibility that there's more to reality than meets the eye.
Always be open to new perspectives.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Emerald Tablets,
it's been quite a journey.
What's the one thing you hope our listener will take away from this conversation?
I hope they come away with a sense of empowerment, a feeling that they have the power to shape their own reality.
Okay.
And to create a life that's aligned with their deepest values and aspirations.
And maybe even a little bit of that alchemical magic.
Absolutely. The Emerald Tablets remind us that transformation is always possible.
Both within ourselves and in the world around us. And on that note, we want to thank you, our listener, for joining us on this incredible journey through the mysteries of the Emerald Tablets.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope you enjoy the ride.
It's been a pleasure.
And remember, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that spark of curiosity alive.
The journey is just beginning.
Until next time, happy exploring.